Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the round of 12 here at the 2019 BowlerX.com PWBA Orlando Open from Boardwalk Bowl in the heart of Orlando, Florida. I'm Daniel Parrish, filling in for my man, Emil Williams Jr. And we are going to have 6 fast and furious games here this morning between these 12 competitors to determine who will move on to the live stepladder CBS Sports Network finals at 4 p.m. later this afternoon. The top 5 from these 12 competitors will move on. We will jump right into it, give you a rundown of the standings after last night in case you missed it. The final game, 5 of the top 6, or 5 of the top 7 shot under 200. The two lowest games of those 5 shot by our second and third place bowlers. Danielle McEwen, 267. She leads at plus 371. Distanced herself from the field that final game. Rosillo's at plus 260, so 111 pins from Danielle down to Rosillo. Caitlin Simpson plus 251. Giselle Poss plus 233, and Maria Jose Rodriguez plus 231. That's your top 5. Kelly Kulik plus 228. Shannon O'Keefe, plus 207. Josie Barnes, plus 206. Liz Culkin, plus 183. Jordan Richard, 180. Missy Parkin shot 245 the last game. One of the two players that jumped, Sandra Gongora and Valerie Bercier, who were inside the top 12 going into the last game. Missy shoots 245 to get to plus 173 in 11th. And Dasha Kovalova, her last 4 games, she goes almost plus 170 the last 4 to get to plus 167. She goes 246, 216, 266, 226. Erin McCarthy finished just outside the cut. Needed a double in the 10th frame to jump Dasha. She got the first one, but then a Greek church in the second shot ended her day. Taylor Boltice finished at 14th at plus 147, just 20 pins out. Started her game off 3 in a row, spare strike, but couldn't catch a double after that. Clean, but couldn't catch a double. 215 finish for her. Sandra Gongora was 13th going into the last game, shot 177. She tied with Stephanie Johnson for 15th place. And then the last player, one of the first players I mentioned, Valerie Bercier, was inside the cut going into the last game and shot 168 with opens in the 9th and 10th frames. Taking a look at the rest of the field, Valerie finished up in 17th. Verity Crawley, Sydney Brummett, Diana Zavyalova round out the top 20. And from that point on, Liz Johnson, Jen Higgins, Birgit Poplar, Lauren Pate, Clara Guerrero, Brianna Cote, Jody Wessner, Ashley Galante, Tanya Rumapir, Shannon Pluhowski, Caroline Lagrange, and Julia Bond. And that was the remainder of the field. Now that I'm done with all that, good morning to everyone in the chat. Thank you all for joining us this early on Saturday morning. 10:06, not that early. Not that early. Had a chance before we took to the lanes this morning to catch up with a few of our players, 2 of which are on our featured pairs right now. 3 channels available, all 12 lanes are covered, just like all 16 that were in use yesterday are covered. But one of the players I caught up with was Katie Simpson, who's right here on 33 and 34, waiting as Jordan Richard makes her shot. And Katie talked about a little bit about her performance yesterday, some of the obstacles she's had to overcome moving into today, and what her hopes are for this afternoon.
Pretty good, except for my finger ripped a little bit yesterday, so we're kind of battling that, but overall I feel pretty good.
Obviously, when you make top 12, the goal is top 5. How do you feel you can get there today?
Just keep making good shots. I feel like I had good ball reaction yesterday, so just keep executing shots, pick my spares, and see what happens.
Okay, Katie making her second top 12 of the season. She led the round 1 qualifying in Tucson. Shot 1850 for that block. Big number. And trying to get into the top 5 for the first time. Katie comes to us by way of Emmett, Idaho. Top 5 for the first time. Giselle bounces back nicely after missing the single pin in the 4th. 4 of the first 5 strikes. I will say, as far as spectating here today, one of the good things about the round of 12 is that having only 2 players on a pair, all of the screens, as you can see on our scoring monitors, are flipped over into the big font, so we can actually see who's scoring what. And from our vantage point right here, we're almost in the middle of the 12 lanes, so we'll be able to give you scores, not have to guess. We can actually see clearly every scoring monitor here. Also had a chance this morning to catch up with two-time PWBA champion and our 2018 U.S. Women's Open champion, Liz Culkin, about what her goals were coming into this week after finishing 13th and 14th the last 2 weeks in East Hartford and in Louisville.
Well, my goal for this week was to make the top 12 because the last 2 weeks have been really tough just being outside the number. So I'm really thrilled about that, not only to make the top 12, but to kind of put myself in a good position for the Tour Championships and points. But I felt really good the first 6 games yesterday. Kind of struggled towards the end with how the front of the lanes broke down, so I feel pretty confident with my game plan. Like you said, only 50 out, which really isn't that much. So I'm hoping they're pretty similar to yesterday. Just got to keep the ball in the pocket, make spares, and I feel pretty good about my chances.
Well, Hosan, that's for me to know and y'all to find out. One of the things we talked with Cecil Scarborough, who runs the PWBA and works in the PBA truck. We talked with him yesterday, and we were talking about Liz and how she's went through a couple different spare balls the last few weeks. I shared a ride with Chuck Gardner, one of the Brunswick representatives out here from the airport to the hotel Wednesday, and he was talking about that Liz's spare shooting has been suspect the last couple of weeks, which she admitted to when I spoke with her earlier. And I asked her about her decision to switch from a spare ball. And we see this game 3, the last 3 spares she shot, she's missed. She didn't quite get that resin ball over to the 7-pin there on that attempt. And she talked about her decision to veer away from her spare ball on certain spares this week.
So I actually made a decision yesterday to not throw my spare ball at my 10 pins or 6-10s yesterday. Now, I went to the University of Nebraska. I didn't use a spare ball for 4 years. I know how to back up the ball. And I just, for my own psyche, I just wanted to feel confident again, and I made a couple spares doing that, and I decided to do that. So really, I'm only using my spare ball for 3 6-10s, and that's it. And I think just doing that, I have to stick to that decision because that's where things kind of get sticky, is when I'm kind of in the middle of doing 2 things. So I feel confident with that, so I'm going to stick with that and kind of figure out the spare ball stuff in the break here. So feeling good about it today.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
So was that a
how ironic it is to talk to her about how she was looking at her, positive towards today in regards to her spare shooting and the changes that she's made. And we see Liz has missed her last 4 spares, 2 of them single pins. And that is, spares will quickly undo you out here. And that's what I think it was it Cecil that talked about spare shooting for Norm Duke. Norm said, if these kids out here think they can miss a spare game and give me 20 pins and beat me, they're nuts. They're not going to. And right now Liz is giving quite a few pins back to the field. Not an ideal situation with only 6 games today. So already digging a hole. She came into this day, Liz did, sitting in 9th at plus 183, only 50 pins out of the show. I mean, 12th place Dasha Kovalova, less than 70 pins out. The only fear that I would have for Dasha and players that are further down is that scoring pace seemed to be, when the scores were big, they were bigger. They were 250s, 260s. We saw more of those today, or yesterday, from the top end of the field than we did, than we had the last couple weeks. Shannon O'Keefe trying to get into the 230s, down on 39 and 40. She's doubled the 10th. Good count in the fill will put her in the 230s. Meanwhile, Danielle McEwen, best she can do is 182 this game. Kelly Kulik, best she can do is 167. And based on her reaction on that spare shot, which she did not convert, Kelly's going to shoot 156. So already these players showing that they are struggling a little bit on the fresh. Maria Jose Rodriguez is going to be 188, as is Josie Barnes. Shannon O'Keefe, 232. Sitting in 7th position. Giselle Costly split there in the 10th. 212 for her. Katie Simpson putting in some work right here. Dasha Kovalova, 198. Rocio is not going to get into the 200s. Missy Parkin with decent count in the 11th, just off to our left on 32, can get there. Katie Simpson, flat 10. It'll be 234 game. That'll be the highest game in the building. Her and Shannon O'Keefe in the 230s. Giselle had a chance to get to the 240s, but split the 10th right here in front of us, unfortunately. Rocio does not convert the 3-6, 9-10, shoots 185. Katie Simpson, nice 234. Missy Parkin needs 1 for an even game, 2 for a plus game. There you go, 201, shooting the 2-8 just off to our left, and Jay Rich strike will give her 216. Sounded like a flat 10. I'm not looking, didn't see. What is it? Ah, it is a flat 10. So the field average, only 195.4 that first game. After game 1, Danielle still your leader, plus 353. Katie Simpson second, plus 285. 40 pins down to Rocio and the Giselle, who are tied at plus 245. 6 pins down to Shannon O'Keefe, who has worked her way into 5th place at plus 239. MJR Maria Jose Rodriguez, plus 219 in 6th place. Jay Rich, plus 195. Josie, plus 194. Kelly Kulik, plus 184. Missy Parkin, 174. Dasha, 165. And Liz Culkin, 137. Hosan, back to your question about any special guests today. I'd like to think at some point that Mr. Aaron Smith's going to hop in the booth with me. I've invited a couple other people at their leisure to stop by. Here we have in front of us this game. Shannon O'Keefe gets the 7-9 out. Good shot. Crossing along with Kelly Kulik, and then on 33 and 34, we're going to see Josie Barnes and MJR. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, only 5 players were plus that game. In case you're just joining us, welcome. This is the round of 12 at the 2019 BowlerX.com PWBA Orlando Open from Boardwalk Bowl in Orlando, Florida. One of the crowd favorites, Shannon O'Keefe, giving him something to cheer for there. Early double here in game number 2. Already 1 game in, 2 players on a pair. Going to be fast and furious bowling this morning. Like to give a big shout out and thank you to the tournament's title sponsor, BowlerX.com. When you buy bowling balls and equipment from BowlerX.com, you're getting more than the lowest prices and free shipping. You're supporting the future of bowling. BowlerX.com gives more back to the sport of bowling than any other retailer. BowlerX.com for the love of bowling. Right now, Katie Simpson only 68 pins behind Danielle McEwen. It is a 40-pin gap from Simpson in second, down to third and fourth, Rocio and Giselle, who are tied. And then 6 pins down to Shannon O'Keefe in fifth. 20 pins from there down to MJR. Another 24 down to 7th place, Jay Rich. And then 7th through 11th, separated by 30 pins, with Liz Culkin 28 behind 11th place. Oh man, Don yelling at us in the chat just like Radio Man 1 was yesterday. Rough break on the 10 by Josie right there. Good shot. Both players on 29 and 30 this game. Jay Rich and Katie Simpson all started off with the front three. Both players on 37 and 38. Danielle and Dasha spare double to start their games. So the players showed they for sure struggled on the fresh game one. Josie tried, I think she tried to miss that, but her spare ball said, no, not going to miss a single pin. That's what the best spare balls do. That's what Bessie has done for me for almost 16 years. As Maria cleans up that 3-6, she was one of the players I had a chance to speak with before practice started this morning, and she is trying to earn her way onto her third stepladder finals appearance in a row. And we talked a little bit about trying to achieve that and what she expects to see out of the pattern today, as far as how it may be different from Friday.
Make my spares. No, I'm just kidding. No, I mean, just hope for my game plan to work. We'll see how the lanes are going to be. They were totally different from the morning block to the afternoon block. So I guess just be ready to make the change or to be aware of what's happening and what the lanes are giving us.
Have you seen that the last 2 weeks, that Saturday has been significantly different from Friday?
A little bit, but not as much as here. I mean, it was a little different because, it was only 2 on a pair and it was less games. And, I feel like last week it benefited me. But yesterday was weird. It was so different from the morning. At least for me. I don't know for other people, but it was so different from the morning block to the afternoon block. So I don't know if it's going to be like yesterday morning or I don't know. We'll see.
Maria, one of 2 players who had made TV the first 2 shows, the first 2 events that I worked, and I told her and Birgit last week that the pressure was on. You got to make 3 in a row. Birgit unfortunately fell a little shy this week. Struggled on the pattern that's out there. Maria has found a way to overcome any difficulties she saw with it and put up some pretty good numbers yesterday on her way to being 5th coming into this morning. Plus 102 in the morning and plus 129 in the evening from Maria Jose Rodriguez. Only one game under 190. That was a 182. 5 games in the 190s. Everything else north of 200. With 5 games over 230. So, I mean, very consistent numbers. And great shooting by Maria all day. Shannon kicked that 2-pin forward. Good shot. Worth mentioning. Oh! Whew, Kelly, good shot. As I was going to say, worth mentioning. Jordan Richard, front 5 down on 29. Liz Culkin trying to bounce back from a disastrous game 1. 3-bagger spare double, make that 3-bagger spare 3-bagger. Turkey jerky gobble gobble, big star. Kelly waved bye-bye to that 8-pin. That was one of those shots that you just want to look at the bowler and say, you know what, don't worry, in about 10 seconds that ball's going to come back through the ball return and you'll have another shot at it. Where's Michelle at? Hashtag team no 8-pin. Shannon doing the same here, double 9 spare 4-bagger on that same 279 pace as Liz. J. Rich missed in the 6th, left a 10-pin, so her streak is over. We're seeing some strings out there. Danielle McEwen with a couple of doubles with some spares. Dasha, 3 strikes in a row with a couple of spares and a strike. Shannon O'Keefe, obviously 6 of 7. Liz Culkin, 6 of 7. 8 of 7 now. 3-bagger, spare, 4-bagger. And of course, J. Rich down there, front 5. Talking with JJ yesterday, these players just kind of waiting for the end of the pattern to carry down a little bit, tighten up. I think the word he used was the back ends, the ball was making a fierce move, especially if it was left of 10 down lane. Certainly is what we've seen in here the last 2 days. Maria asking a lot of that bowling ball on this featured pair, has yet to strike. Her 3 pocket hits, and I wouldn't call that right there, that 4 or 5 a pocket hit. All flat 10s, just the ball not looking good down lane. I don't think it's digging quite as early as she needs it to. I know sometimes players will start in an area of the lane and give it a few shots or a game to let it come to them. But, you know, with the field as packed as tightly as it is around the cut, and she's sitting in 6th place, and with only 4.5 games left, I don't know, and I don't know this is what she's doing, but I don't know how long you can wait for it to come to you. I think you've got to go out and be aggressive and take it. And Maria certainly not seeing spectacular ball motion right here on 33 and 34. She's going to hook at the 4-5. There you go. Nice conversion. If she does indeed make TV, that's something I'd like to ask her about later. Hooking at the 4-5. Shannon O'Keefe continues the strike fest. Jay Rich back-to-back single pins after the front 5 down on 29 and 30. 7-pin this time. Wrapped 10 pin that time for Maria. Looks back at one of the Motive ball reps, Nathan Bohr, standout player at Wichita State University. Just kind of shrugs her shoulders as if to say, nothing more I can do on that shot. And she's right, there's nothing more she can do. She's throwing the ball obviously very well the last 2 weeks. That has carried over to this week. She needs to ask more of her equipment. These players hold themselves such a high level of expectations. They need to do the same with their bowling balls. Yeah, that was a ball change, Hassan, and you could see the motion down lane was different. It wrapped the 10 instead of rolled out and pinged a 10. Give Kelly her hits. After that stone 8 pin, she deserves a couple of carries like that. Giselle Poss with 2 opens in the 2nd and the 6th has thrown the back 5, just awaiting her fill ball to get up into the 2 teens. Giselle sitting in 4th right now. Anita, I will say there's a few less spectators than yesterday, but it is, first, A, still early, and B, less players in the field. But the crowd is pretty good. The bleachers are pretty full. I'd say one of them's about 50% full. The other one's about 80% full. People standing all around. .213 for Giselle Poss, sitting in 4th place. .247 for Liz Culkin. Almost centuried herself. 154 the first game, 247 here in game number 2. Thank you, Alyssa. Mr. Louisville, I like it. Ooh. Maria finally with a down lane motion worthy of how she's throwing the ball. Oh, Shannon. Wraps the 6 around the 10 on the 3-6-10, turns a 279 into a 256, into a 244. Chris, you think you're funny. You're going to miss me when I'm gone. Kelly, 195 for 194. Still a good game for Shannon, but she's going to look at that and go, man, how many pins did I just leave? Well, we know how many pins she left out there, but she'll be thinking about that one for a few minutes. The greats, however, will always put it behind them and move on. That's what I told Katie Simpson on Facebook. She put a post up about how well she bowled, and I commented and said, yeah, you bowled great all day. Good luck tomorrow. And she said, yeah, all day with that last game. with a winky emoji. And I said, you know what? In this car, we don't have rear view mirrors, just one big windshield. Do not look back. Always look forward. Looking back does not help you in one bit. Josie splitting the rack. Hey, all right. Right here. Yeah, it is cold. One of those people I told you about that I was inviting to the booth joining me right now, Stephanie Johnson.
Hey, everybody.
How are you doing this
Who do
morning?
we have watching today?
Oh, everybody.
Lots of
All the regulars.
good folk. I'm going to pop open one of my rock stars, Daniel.
I've got one waiting
Listen
right
to
over
it.
here. I've got one waiting, a cotton candy one waiting for me.
Cotton candy? I didn't see that one in there. I got some kiwi strawberry. That's probably my favorite because it's not like super sweet.
Mm-hmm. Katie Simpson, 212. Jordan Richard, 248 that game.
Certainly some high scores, which is not abnormal.
Not at all. Not at all. Danielle McEwen back on it, 226 that game. Field average game one was only 195. The fresh really seemed to confuse the players, or they struggled on it.
Funny, that was the only time I actually bowled really good. And then it was downhill from there.
Dare I say that might be why you're sitting next to me talking instead of
Unfortunately.
in front of the camera?
I mean, I finished 15th. I was about 40 out. And, I mean, in the course of 16 games, you can certainly find 40 pins somewhere. But, you know, that's how it goes. My roommate, of course, is here, Shannon.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm here cheering her on. She'll be off in the distance, lane 29 and 30. It's interesting. So I was talking with a couple of the people here in the stands. They did not know it was not match play. They thought you got 30 bonus spins.
Okay.
So I was trying to explain to them that it's literally a 6-game block. You're bowling with the same person, just total pins. So it's interesting to hear some of the feedback of what they're watching because they didn't know it wasn't match play. I'm like, well, you're not bowling the same person 6 times.
And we had a couple people in the chat in East Hartford that were asking, hey, why are they bowling with the same person 6 times? And we had to, E and I had to explain.
Explain it to them.
No, it's total pinfall.
Mm-hmm. And it's more of a timing thing more than anything. Obviously, we have the Fan Fest after this, and then flip right around into to live telecast tonight. So there's not a lot of time.
And somebody was asking yesterday about how they do lane pairings, and we explained that in the round of 16, or in the on Friday of qualifying, it's all random assignment. But today, they put the number 1 seed after their 16 games, the 1 with the 12, the 2 with the 11, the 3 with the 10, and so on and so forth. And that's, like you said, they all cross together.
Right. And obviously, people shift around and positions change, but it's probably the most fair way you can do it.
Well, that game,
manually.
not too many positions changed after that game. Danielle McEwen plus 379. 82-pin lead over Katie Simpson in second at 297. Shannon O'Keefe jumps to third at 283. Giselle, 258. Rocio, 250. Only 7 pins back to Jay Rich at 243. Maria Jose Rodriguez, 231. Another 29 pins back to Josie at 202. Liz, 184. Dasha and Kelly, 179, 178. And Missy with a 181 last game falls to 12th at 155. So what did you see out of this pattern over 16 games yesterday?
Gosh, first block, I would say many of the girls started farther to the right. And gradually, as the lanes and games went on, transitioned slowly but surely to the left. Now, fast forward to the second block. In typical fashion, everybody started farther left to begin with, which of course just kind of forces everybody left quicker. You saw a lot of the girls with a lot more hand, meaning higher rev rate, maybe softer at the bottom, that can kind of circle the lane a little bit, scored a lot better, for instance. I mean, obviously that was my demise, having to get farther left and be softer and more around it. As you can probably watch today, that's what a lot of the girls are doing, or at least the ones that are scoring, I should say. I'm very curious to see what this pattern actually looks like, because for those of you tuning in that aren't aware, we do not have a heads up before we bowl on these past 3 weeks, the elite field, of what the pattern actually is. So we literally just kind of have to come out here, see what the lane's telling us to do, what kind of balls might look good, and go from there. And obviously between blocks 1 and 2 yesterday, we cannot drill. There's just not enough time to drill. So
that's what Cecil talked about. I had him on the show yesterday for two games,
yeah.
And he's talked about when they can and cannot drill. And he mentioned that between squads on Friday they don't do any drilling.
We don't. There's just not enough time. In a perfect world, if everybody wanted to drill a ball, there's just not enough time to do that. So it's really not fair to put Cecil or whomever in that position. So we have what we have, and we obviously come to these events with as well of a rounded arsenal as we can. Again, not knowing what we're competing on. So kind of the blind leading the blind, so to speak. But it never fails. And of course, fast forward to today, the round of 12. There's half as many people on the pair, and there's less games. So the likelihood of it transitioning as drastically is probably not going to happen. I mean, you're going to have your stragglers that are just going to play left no matter what because that's their comfort zone.
Right.
I would say for the most part that the girls are going to probably hang out maybe between the 15 to 20 area at the arrows, comfortably so.
So while we don't know what the pattern is, we can speculate to our heart's desire. So if you had to guess feet, foot length, and maybe not an exact number of volume, but low, medium, or high, what would you put this pattern at?
I'd probably guesstimate it's a 38 to 39 foot pattern.
Okay.
Medium volume, which would probably be in the 24 to 25 mil zone. Have zero clue what the shape of it looks like, and I could be wrong altogether. We will find out in a few hours. I'm very anxious, which doesn't mean necessarily anybody's plan of attack would have been differently. It's just information. So it's kind of cool because, people ask, would you prefer to see the pattern or would you not prefer to see the pattern? And I don't really know because I think, you're dealt what you're dealt and you do what the lane's telling you to do. It may be nice to know a distance and maybe a volume, but at the end of the day, the graph doesn't tell you where to play. It doesn't tell you what to do, how to throw the ball. It still comes down to your execution.
Well,
so
that's one thing that I saw, and I've noticed any accomplished or competitive player sees this, that the field will determine where the pattern plays
100%
more than the graph will. And I saw that at Junior Gold. I was at Thunderbolt, which turned out to be a 50-foot pattern, which they didn't release till afterwards. But
okay.
Every shot that I saw those kids throw during the practice session and throughout the week, when they hit 11-12, it went 60 feet. So you knew it was a longer pattern.
Gotcha.
And they freaked out because they did not see friction. Well, Nick Hoagland, in his infinite wisdom and how evil he can be, he put friction on like 3, 4, 5 at 15 feet. So all these kids are playing this 50-foot pattern up the gutter. And every now and then, you would have a kid come across the pair who's trying to play 11, 12, 13. They're trying to play it the right way.
Right.
And when their ball gets to the pins, it strikes. It looks great. But the minute they miss left a little or right a little or short or long, they had no chance because they had no help breaking it down.
Yeah.
So the field, more so, it seems to determine where they're going to play than the pattern or the graph will suggest.
Sure. And, just to echo that, regardless of what pattern it is we're competing on, it literally always comes down to execution. If you're confident with the ball you have in your hands, where you're playing the lane, you have to obviously throw a good shot. So, when people do ask me that question, is it nice to know? I mean, sure. But again, it's literally just information. It doesn't tell me what ball I'm supposed to be throwing, what surface on that ball, where I'm supposed to play the lane, any of that stuff. So that's where it comes, you know, you highlighted earlier where the field kind of dictates where that pattern usually plays. And you can look at this field. A lot of the girls that can get left, so to speak, get around it a little bit, shape the lane a little more. And we've seen actually a lot of repeat players these past 3 weeks on the exempt tour.
Yes, both, you know, Birgit and Maria have both made TV the last 2 weeks.
Yep.
And Maria's right here in front of us on these round of 12.
She's like right there knocking at the door. And that's by no means taking anything away from their abilities whatsoever. Everybody here deserves it, very talented. I'm just highlighting what you've mentioned, that some of the patterns kind of just gravitate towards certain types of players. Solid Brooklyn there from Jay Rich.
Hey, it looks good on the screen.
It does.
I mean, it looks flush up there.
I had the privilege of crossing with Danielle all day yesterday, and we both had a couple of not so great strikes, we'll say. You know, we may have went Brooklyn a couple times, and you know, the competitor in you is frustrated because, you know, obviously you either A, didn't make a good shot, or it just completely did something you weren't expecting. But, you know, we were sitting there and I said to her, you know what, Danielle, here's the deal. We throw enough good shots in our lifetime that don't strike that they owe us these.
Yes.
And you know what? It may not have been from today or yesterday, but darn it, like, we deserve those because everybody else does it too.
And we saw it the last game on 35 and 36 when Kelly stuffed that 8-pin.
Exactly.
And then she kind of carried a wall swisher later.
It's
you know
unbelievable. I think at the end of the day, it evens itself out, if you will. But, you know, we kind of laughed about it because I said, you know, and people look at you like, oh my gosh, you're professionals, you don't do that. I said, let me tell you what, sir, we're human beings. Yes, we do that. And we just kind of laughed because you just kind of have to, you know, sit back and
take it.
There's so much information, Daniel, even from a bad shot. So, you know, whether it was a bad shot or your ball just did something you weren't expecting, it's information. So you literally have to come back and process what just happened. Was it me? And if it was me, just kind of shake it off, reset. Or did I throw a good shot and all of a sudden the ball just hooked off the lane? So you hope to capitalize on those Brooklyns.
Yes.
You know, maybe throw double or triple in there.
You want to put a good shot on a good break.
Yep. And just keep moving forward. I said, you know what? You can't change it. Just say thank you.
And move on.
My mom always told me, she said, that if you're going to miss a lot so you don't split. Like, just go runaway Brooklyn.
Yep.
Just completely miss your target by 5 boards, whatever it ends up being, and hopefully hit the other side of the head pin.
As we take a look at Missy Parkin up here on 34, she's one of the players I had a chance to speak with this morning. And a couple clips here from her. First of all, she talked about her round 2 performance and the big game, game 8 last night, that put her inside the top 12.
Well, I definitely had a little bit different game plan the last few games last night. I was actually slowing it down a lot and shaping it more, kind of very similar to last week. And that ended up working out really well. So we're going to see how they play today. But my game plan's a little different going into this morning, and hopefully it all works out.
And then one other thing I asked her about, talking with Cecil, who worked out the truck, about the weights that the players were throwing. He mentioned that most of the players I hear throw 15, but Missy's still one of those players that throws 16. And I had to ask her about that.
I've used 16 since I was 15 years old. And for me, it's kind of funny, but 15s feel too late. So for me, physically, to keep everything in check with my physical game and keep my swing nice and free, 16 is the way to go for me.
So it's interesting, Daniel, listening to your little interview with Missy, because she basically reiterated a couple things that I had touched base on. A little slower ball speed, shaping the lane, getting the ball to do all the right things and get through the pocket. So, and again, she did highlight that it was very much like last week. So it's interesting because you just do see those tendencies across the board. But right now, we should talk about Miss Caitlin over here.
Who has 8 strikes across the board.
The front 8.
Yes.
Just throwing it great, has awesome ball reaction. And I'll tell you what, when that happens, your swing gets loose. Your heart rate probably starts racing just a little bit.
Yeah.
Because, we are competitors, and I don't care if you've shot 100, 300 games. Your knees still knock on that, 9th, 10th frame.
That's what people ask me whenever I shoot 3. Is I'll have people ask me, do you get nervous? I'm like, yeah, I still get nervous. And just, you've got so many, it doesn't mean anything to you. No, it does.
Absolutely.
Every 300 means something, whether it's your first one, your 10th one, or your Adam Barta who's got north of 200.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. They still mean,
oh my
no.
gosh. Are you kidding me? Unbelievable. My heart. And that's exactly what we talked about, Daniel. All the times you throw it good and get 9. And then I think the shot before that, she kind of had a swisher strike on 35. But they all fell. Oh my gosh. But, here we are. It's game 3. The goal today, 300 would have been icing on the cake.
Yeah.
The goal today is to make the TV show. So obviously she's just, I'm assuming, just going to kind of reset here, make her spare, and keep moving forward. Sometimes it is easy to get caught up in that moment of, man, this would have been cool. Gosh, I'm still seeking my first PWBA 300. I have a couple 299s, so it would definitely be a check on my bucket list at some point in time.
So how has this season as a whole been for you?
It's funny because Shannon and I were talking about it probably last week, actually. On paper, arguably, it's probably been one of my worst seasons. But it doesn't feel that way. So that's where it's kind of a balance of, maybe in past years I've either made more shows, have won, etc. So it looks better on paper. But, this year I feel like I've bowled really well. And there's just been weeks that it hasn't worked out. So for me, there's peace of mind in knowing that, had a good week physically, the scores just didn't show it. And I would venture to say there's a lot of girls out here that feel that way. Even the ones that you do see making the show or making the cuts. Looks like Danielle's having a little bit of a struggle there on 31 and 2.
Yeah, she has Kelly as well, down on 29 and 30. Her max score right now is 185, shooting a single pin here in the 9th.
Yeah. Speaking of light swishers, Miss Caitlin had another one on 35 here to follow up her stone 8-pin.
Well, and you said on paper this may be one of your worst PWBA seasons, but you do have some international success to fall back on a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can talk about that for sure.
Absolutely.
It's been a crazy summer, more so than normal. So, being on Team USA, there's just some years that are just more, there's just more travel involved. So this year is one of those years. Shannon and I were in Peru a couple weeks ago. We won the Pan American Games doubles gold, which was incredible to be able to do it with my best friend, my roommate. We've been on the team for 15 years together. That's actually, some people don't realize that's how we met. I never knew her until Team USA.
Really? How about that?
We met through the program. And it's been a heck of a ride, a heck of a journey. We've been to some amazing places together. We've had some great memories, some bad memories, some victories, defeats, everything in between. But yeah, and then on Thursday, literally this coming Thursday, we leave for the World Championships.
That's in Vegas, isn't it?
It's in
South Point?
It's in Las Vegas, yep. And I'm the only one on the team not bowling at this point. So Shannon's bowling right now. Out here, correct. So we got Shannon, Danielle, Missy, Jordan, Liz, and myself.
Wow.
So that was a great game by Caitlin right
yes,
there.
Yes, it was.
There, I mean, nothing to hang her head over whatsoever. She gets 78 pins, and that's certainly going to jump her
She'll take the lead
right up there past Danielle, since she's struggling here a little bit.
Yep. Best Danielle can do is 192, which would put her at plus 371. Katie is at 375 after that game.
And Shannon's going to shoot about 220, 210, depending on her fill ball here.
Jay Rich, 217 right in front of us.
Lots of games left, literally 3 games left, so anything can happen. Shannon just shot 220.
With as quick a pace as today is, do you approach it a little differently, knowing that you're going to have less time in between shots, the games are going to go by faster, and as over the course of 8 games with 4 on a pair, mistakes don't pile up as quickly as they might in this environment. So do you approach it differently, knowing the pace is going to be quicker?
Me personally, I would probably make moves quicker, meaning you literally only have 6 games. So if you're seeing something, even if it's on that pair, because you're not going to hit that pair again, change balls. There's no reward typically without risk. Now, as we mentioned earlier, the goal is obviously to make the TV show. So you want to, at the end of the day, put it all out there. Whether you make it or not, at least you could say, hey, man, we gave it all we had. We put it all there and just came up short. So, that's the beauty and the curse of this sport we play. A lot of it is educated guessing, meaning we're watching balls go down the lane constantly. We're watching other people's balls go down the lane. And it doesn't mean you know what's going to work, but maybe you could rule out something that's not going to work. So, again, it's just a lot of information. A lot of people ask us, when we drill balls and why we do some of those things. It's like, well, it's more so for case scenarios. Like, we need to maybe drill this because there's a hole in your arsenal, because now that we kind of know how the pattern's playing, what may happen. So a lot of the girls from last night drilled balls for today, even though, of course, they made it. They had equipment that worked. Knowing that today is typically different with, again, less people, less games, just to have a possibility. It does not mean that ball's ever going to go down the lane, and it doesn't even mean it's the right ball choice, the right drilling. But the ball reps obviously are watching hundreds of balls going down the lane, and they have a good idea of what's been working and what's not based on the types of bowlers that are bowling well.
Well, and I like what you said there about if you try something and it doesn't work, at least you can eliminate that, because bowlers at the lower levels tend to be scared to make a ball change or try something because they say, I don't think it's going to work. But you'd rather know for a fact that it doesn't work and eliminate that option than be stuck wondering, okay, did I not try something that could have worked?
100%. I think it's just as important to rule out bowling balls than it is to know the ones that tend to be working. So, you know, we do bring a lot of equipment with us. I would say on average, most of the girls here probably have 12 bowling balls here. Like we mentioned, we don't have the ability to drill between blocks, but we do have the ability to drill after practice session, and then, of course, after the round of after the 16 games yesterday. So it's constantly a juggle of what's going to work this week, what's not, you know. And then at the end of the day, here we are towards the end of our tour, and there's girls that have 20 balls in the locker room.
Yeah.
You know, and then you're trying to sort through, gosh.
What number is good for you? Your personal arsenal.
I probably prefer 12. I like 12. And even then, sometimes it's overwhelming. But obviously a spare ball is one of them. So I would say 11. But, you know, we try to have a well-rounded arsenal that includes, in a perfect world, half asymmetrical balls, half symmetrical balls, pin up, pin down, that type of stuff. You know, stronger balls on that spectrum, on the weaker side, and at least have a starting point, because from there, once you kind of figure out how a lane is playing, you can fill those gaps as you need to.
Well, some scores after Game 3. Katie Simpson, as we projected and expected, is the new leader at plus 375. Danielle McEwen, plus 360. Then it is a 57-pin drop to Shannon O'Keefe in third at plus 303. Giselle Poss in fourth at 285. J. Rich up to fifth at 260. Rocio drops to sixth at plus 253. Then it is 50 pins down to Maria Jose Rodriguez at 202. Liz Kay at 190, Dasha 174, Josie Barnes 169, Missy 160, and Kelly Kulik at 151. So we see a big gap between second and third. Danielle and Shannon almost 60 pins. And then a 50-pin drop from Rocio down to Maria Jose Rodriguez between sixth and seventh.
Daniel, we are in the presence of greatness right now.
We are. How about that?
Oh, my gosh. I have to take a selfie, and then we'll tell you guys who's with us. We'll give you one guess who's with us. What kind of clue could we give them?
We'll give them one guess until the end of the second frame on 33 and 34 to figure out who it is.
Well, how many people are in this chat?
I don't have a number, but we've got a lot watching.
Got a lot watching.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
Okay, well, it's a male.
It is. It is a guy.
And we'll go with one of the greatest of all time.
Recently did something on the PWBA or the PBA tour that had never been done before.
Yes. That's very recently.
Yes,
actually.
within the last month, I'd say. No, Don. No, not Aaron. A little more greatness than Aaron Smith.
Hi, Don. Do you know who Don is?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, because last week he won a 2019 program signed by Shannon.
Oh.
And he said he gave it back and said give it away to someone else. He said, I don't need that. I have my signature on her birth certificate.
Exactly.
I thought that was hilarious.
Oh, someone thinks it's Norm Duke.
Good guess.
Good guess. Ooh.
Crystal JJ was in yesterday.
Yep. Okay, we got Belmo. We got Walter Ray.
Seeing some Norm, some Walter. I think when you say one of the greatest, that limits it.
I kind of gave it away, but I'm glad a lot of people are on that same page. It is the Walter Ray Williams Jr. He decided to grace us with his presence.
He walked by my laptop during the PTQ on Thursday and was looking at scoring updates because his phone wasn't updating right away. And he just walks up and starts scrolling. And I'm like, well, you know what? I'm not going to tell Walter Ray he can't scroll on my laptop. That's not going to happen.
You go right ahead, sir.
Yes, go ahead.
You go right ahead. That's funny. Yeah, totally caught me off guard. I was taking a selfie, and then he said, oh, you might want to take that again. I said, I absolutely will. Gosh, this is many, many years ago when the PBA, so the PWBA was not around at this time. The PBA had what they called the Women's Series events. So we bowled with the guys, but not against them. So there were 16 of us that competed with them for a few weeks out of the year. And there was a doubles tournament in Denver, if I recall all this correctly. But Walter Ray Williams was my partner.
How about that?
We didn't bowl great. But we had a lot of fun. He was a great guy.
See, and I've got a story about you that parallels directly to that.
Okay.
The one year that I was on junior team, the first night we were there, they brought in a karaoke machine, and you and I sang Baby Got Back. And it wasn't great, but we had fun.
I may or may not have purposefully forgot that memory. Now the world knows.
Yeah.
We sang Baby Got Back.
Yeah, it wasn't good. Because
You know-
everybody knows the first verse, but there was like 3 verses. And yeah. No, it was bad.
I'd venture to say we probably didn't sing much. It was more like mumble jumble.
Yeah, more than likely.
And that was when junior camp actually went to the training center in Colorado
Yes.
Springs.
Yes.
Where we had that room in the front. It was usually the room in the front. But super fun memories because now we've since not been back to Colorado Springs for probably, I would say, close to 5 years now.
Has it been that long?
At least, I would think 5 years. But what a cool experience.
Yeah.
You know, because actually we were at Team USA camp this year, and I was talking to Danielle about it, and I just happened to ask her. I was like, "Have you ever been to Colorado Springs?" And she hadn't been, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" So it's been that long. So it's got to be more than 5 years. But what a cool experience. And again, just to kind of mimic the Pan American Games that Shannon and I were at. So they built an athlete village for us where only athletes and, you know, authorized personnel, all that can get on, basically like the Olympics do. And our roommate, because we have other people in the apartment, she was a member of pentathlon, which I had no idea what pentathlon was. Do you?
I've heard of it, but I couldn't tell you what it is.
So it's 5 different sports.
Okay.
So let me see. There was swimming. There was, it's swimming, shooting, biking, equestrian, and fencing. Talk about 5 different disciplines
Wow.
that are
I mean,
completely
yeah.
different. So she came back one night, and we just got to chatting with her, and we're like, I said, how did you get involved with that? I said, how does one decide?
Yeah.
I'm gonna. I'm sorry, I was distracted by that 8-pin
Stone,
dot
another
left.
one? Yeah, another one.
Golly, on a different lane, but geesh. So we asked her, we're like, you know, how do you get involved with such a discipline? Because it's 5 different. You know, we just have one,
Yeah.
and even then, it's hard enough. But she just she started riding horses, and then very much like the bowling world, how it's so connected and so small, she just got hooked up with the different people, and she qualified for Tokyo Olympics. Super cool. She came home that night with a silver medal in pentathlon, and it qualified her for the Olympics.
Wow.
So
Scouts the 10.
I started following her. I was like, ooh, I know somebody that's actually going to compete in the Olympics.
In the Olympics, yes.
You know,
I
like,
actually know
it's
somebody.
Super cool.
I've got to ask you, do you like giving things away?
Of course I do. I have
Well,
plenty of things I can give away.
We have a signed 2019 PWBA program. It's signed by Shannon O'Keefe, Maria Jose Rodriguez, and Jordan Richard.
Right?
And Brant's got an extra one, and he wanted to know if you wanted to help give one away.
Okay. How are we doing this?
Well, basically,
Is
it's
this
pretty
trivia?
No, it's pretty simple. It's a prompt will pop up on the screen for everyone that's watching, and they'll click submit entry. It submits their entry.
Okay.
And so you're here and you're a part of it, helping give it away as being in the booth.
Okay, cool.
So for those of you in the chat, be prepared. Keep your eyes open. Brant's going to throw a prompt up. There it is. The giveaway will begin soon. Once that finishes counting down, click submit entry, and you'll be in to win a signed 2019 PWBA program signed by Shannon O'Keefe, Maria Jose Rodriguez, and Jordan Richard.
Oh, cool. Go back to the chat. I think I saw. I'm going to be the winner today. Maybe that's my mom chatting in the booth. It could be my husband. I don't know.
It's typically your husband, because he'll chime and go, "Hey everybody, where am I bowling at today?" And we'll let Stephanie know where she's bowling at today, and if it's not on the featured pairs, we'll go, "Okay, I'll see y'all later. I'm gonna go to that channel."
That's hilarious. I gave them obviously my login so they can can watch as they're chasing my little kids around and all that fun stuff. So
There's more than a few players whose names pop up in the chat while they're bowling who've given login to the husbands or boyfriends or
whoever.
family. Yeah.
Is it rigged if I win? That's funny.
All right, click submit entry, 40 seconds, and once we announce the winner, we will get to some audio I've got from Kelly Kulik. She was the 5th and final player that I spoke with this morning. She had a pretty good answer to the question I asked. We'll get to that after the giveaway.
So do they literally just submit an entry and it's a random drawing?
Yeah, it's simple
There's
as
no
that.
question. There's nothing.
Let's see. I just clicked the button, so let's see.
You're entered to win.
It's as simple as that. Now, I can't win,
Oh,
me
okay.
being,
Yeah,
Bull
of
TV.
course. That's funny.
Yeah, it's as simple as that.
So I have a jersey here we could totally give away. So maybe Brant can come up with a question if he's listening.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely listening.
I can go grab that out of the car. Or we could give it away on the TV show. Whatever. It's mine to give away.
And what we can do is, once we figure out how we're going to give that away, we can just send it back to Arlington with Aaron and JT. They can get it to Brant, and then he can get it sent out to whoever the winner is. So
Perfect.
We'll figure out how to do that. Brant, I know you're listening. It's up to you to figure out how you want to give that away.
Exactly. Leaving that in his hands. He's good at that.
Sue Ann Tay
Sue Ann Tate, what?
was the winner of the 2019 program signed by Shannon O'Keefe, Maria Jose Rodriguez, and Jordan Richard. Congratulations, Sue Ann.
Oh, very cool. That's awesome. All they had to do was click a button.
That's all they had to do. We keep it simple here. All right, we're going to get to the audio of Kelly Kulik real quick. I'm unplugging the wrong pair of headphones here. I'm supposed to unplug Stephanie's, and I unplugged mine.
They like to hear my voice.
There we go. I don't blame them. I'd rather hear your voice as well. All right, so I talked to Kelly about her back-to-back 6th place finishes the last 2 weeks and how she used that as motivation coming into this week and what her plans were. And I especially loved the back half of her answer.
Really just came off Team USA camp with Rod Ross and the other head coaches, just wanting to have fun this last swing. I know I was out of it for the road to Richmond, and I really wanted to get there. It's a special event, and I really feel like I belong there. And then, the back-to-back 6th place finishes, even the 6th place at Lucy. So I said the devil was coming to Orlando this week, and hopefully she shows up this morning so she can put it hurting on everyone else.
I love that.
I know.
I love that. And, Kelly made a great point there because, we do take this seriously.
Mm-hmm.
For a lot of us out here, it's supplementary income. Some of the girls, it is their income. Everybody's in a different situation. But it's so easy to lose sight of just having fun, and really go back to the reason why you started doing it in the first place. And obviously, it has helped her. Finishing 6th, regardless of just missing the show, I'm sure, there's a level of disappointment after that. But at the end of the day, man, from where she was to now where she is, I would have to say she's very happy.
Well, it's evident that she's able to put the disappointment of missing the show behind her because she shows up, she does the TV broadcast with Dave Ryan or Dave Lamont. The energy's there. She does the line dancing before to get the crowd hopped up. And I can tell you, if I missed a cut for a TV show, granted, she's been doing this a lot longer than I have and at a much higher level. But if I missed a cut like that, I don't know that I'd want to be doing dancing in front of the crowd an hour or two later. But she's there, and she has fun with it, and she owns it.
Yeah. It is such a quick turnaround, meaning from the second Game 6 is over to then have a quick lunch, because like I said, we then have FanFest, and then the TV show, boom, it's live. So there's not a lot of downtime, so to speak, to where we can really reset.
Mm-hmm.
So it's totally awesome of her to engage the crowd. She's always out there. She's got a smile on her face. It's very admirable, because like you said, she's been doing it a long time, and obviously she wants to be out there bowling. But she's really great at what she does, and we're certainly lucky to have her.
Katie Stinson this game struggling a little bit compared to the 278. She can max out at 207 as she enters her 9th frame. Jordan Richard working on 7 in a row now. Make that 6 in a row, 6 in a row after a split in the 3rd. Hasn't missed since then. Liz Culkin working on a 269 game down on 29 and 30. Got the first one in the 10th. She's in the 250s already.
Right. We're seeing a lot of girls struggling on 31 and 32. The game before with Danielle, and Dasha, and now with Josie and Maria over there. Seems to be something's going on that pair, which is not abnormal in bowling centers for a couple pairs to just play differently or one lane play different than the other. It just seems like that pair in particular has had some low scores on it.
Question from Chris in the chat, getting back to talking about how Kelly rebounds from a disappointing finish, missing TV, to getting her emotions back up.
Yeah.
He said after every now and then there's a Pro-Am that takes place after the finals of a tournament. How do players feel about bowling with fans after an event, especially if they did not win?
Well, I mean, everybody's different, so we know the schedule ahead of time, meaning we know there will be or will not be a Pro-Am after a finals. Typically, there hasn't been one this year, but in years past, yeah. I mean, I can't say it's easy sometimes to all of a sudden just shift gears and be happy-go-lucky, after you may have lost. But you also may not be on the schedule to bowl, so it just kind of depends. But, this is what we sign up for. And arguably, the best part of the event is the Pro-Am. Because without the fans, I mean, we're nothing. And they love us. I mean, there's so many people here in Orlando. They were here this morning at 10 a.m. Before a lot of the girls even got here. And that's really what it's all about, They support us. We have to support them. Like, it has to be give and take, And
even the PTQ on Thursday with a field of I'll say, lesser-known players, because it's not as star-packed as the main event. The fans were here at 9 in the morning for that.
That's amazing. Yeah. And we love coming to cities that want us, of course, And every year has been awesome. And so I don't know if that really answered the question other than, we know what we're getting into. We know the schedule ahead of time, so it's not like it's kind of thrown on us of, oh, by the way, you have to bowl tonight. Sometimes our fearless leader, Tennille, she'll be gracious enough to let somebody off if maybe there's not a lot of attendance for the Pro-Am and they don't need as many pros. So just kind of depending on your situation. But we like to have as much fun with them as we can. A lot of us shoot spares together, shoot splits together.
I've seen that all over Instagram. I know that Verity and DZ do that a lot.
Yeah,
I've seen it on
I
theirs.
do it a lot. Just trying to make it fun for them. They're there to engage with us because if you think about it, not many sports have complete access to
almost
the athletes.
None. I mean, almost none.
Literally where they can touch you.
I mean, I don't know of a sport that can compare to bowling where the fans are. I mean, they are 5 feet
literally
behind you.
right.
They're sitting next to you.
Yeah, they're just right there. And so, again, we know what we're getting into. We know what to expect and all that stuff. So, the Pro-Ams are what they are, and without them, we're not here. So it's it's a lot of the bowling center's ways of recouping some money and allowing their patrons to interact with us.
All right, Jordan Richard, who is currently in 5th, is going to shoot 245 down on the high end of our spectrum here. Liz Culkin, watch out. After 154 start, has went 240, 2-0, 268 this last game to get to plus 258, which coming into this game would have been 6th.
Right.
So she is making a climb up the standings.
Putting her stamp on it, making herself relevant. That's for sure, which is not out of the norm for her.
I mean, 2018 Women's U.S. Open champion. She knows what she's doing out there.
I may or may not know that.
Sorry, Steph.
I think she beaten me,
yeah,
Daniel.
I know.
Right here at this bowling center.
I know.
That's okay. There can only ever be one winner. And again, we know that. So that is the beauty and the curse of sport in general. You know what I mean? It's there's only ever going to be one winner.
Well, and not
And
to
when it's you, it's great.
not to sound incredibly corny, but when we look back, those of us that get to do things we love, when we look back at it, in the long run, we were winning the whole time because we were going to a job that didn't feel like a job.
Correct.
That's what I feel like when I walk in here. The 4 months I was in Las Vegas working the Open Championships, doing PR work there, when I walked into South Point, I never felt like I was going to work.
Right.
So in the long run, we're all winning in a way. But yes, in the short term, yeah, there's only one winner at each event.
But, you know, it's I would say if you won everything, it would be boring. I think that would still be amazing, but it's just not realistic.
No.
You know, after that defeat here at the U.S. Open, had a couple weeks in between then and then the Players' Championships, and then I came back and I won.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all of that led me to where I was supposed to end up, and that's kind of just how it goes. And the fact that we get to do what we do and love every second of it is just the icing on the cake, you know. I mean, I work at a bowling center. I've only ever worked in bowling, and that's a fun fact. Since I was 15, cleaning tables at Piper Lanes, not far from here, Miami, Florida. I would literally work just so I could practice. I wasn't even getting paid when I first started working. And then I just fell in love with it. You know, and I think if you can fall in love with whatever it is you're doing, like you said, you're not working.
Right.
You're just doing what you love and have a passion for. So I've never, ever not worked in the bowling industry in some capacity. You know, whether it meant at the center, moving to Texas, working for USBC, working at the center now, you know, representing my companies. Super cool. Super cool to be afforded those opportunities to be a part of an industry that supports you as a professional athlete, that can represent them. You know, it's all twofold. It's a small community where everybody kind of knows everybody and everybody knows your name. Like, what was that? The bar?
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yep. I just got done binge watching that on Netflix.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's super old school for me.
Oh yeah, that was late. That was mid late 80s and early 90s.
Yeah. I want to say my parents used to watch that show, but I've come to realize that the big thing I'm into now is Big Brother.
Okay.
I'm a Big Brother fan. In fact, Shannon and I, she's big into it as well. Our ball rep, Rob Gottschall, we all chat about it and all that good stuff, but we caught up on it last night. So we are all caught up on that. We fast forwarded to the end to see kind of who got voted off and all that fun stuff. But I'm super into that. As you can probably imagine, with 2 little kids, I could say I'm also into PJ Masks and, Muppet Babies.
Okay. Oh, Muppet Babies are still a thing?
Well, it's now an animated Muppet Babies.
Okay.
It's totally not like it used to be, which is fine. So, yeah, those are the shows I watch, you know, and they're just, you never think like you're going to be that person until you're that person.
Until you have kids and you're that person.
And then you're humming the silly jingles of, you know, the Thomas and Friends train show or something. And you know every name of every character.
You find yourself walking through the grocery just singing, "Baby Shark, do 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 do." Baby.
Oh gosh, right? It's like, oh my gosh, I'm that person. So,
a question from Cheryl: growing up, what bowlers did you look up to, and did you know from a young age that you wanted to bowl professionally?
So, I started bowling at the age of 6, which I guess anybody could probably argue that when you're doing anything at the age of 6. Now that I have a 5-year-old. You do it because you're kind of told to do it, maybe not because you really enjoy it. But fast forward to high school, that's when I really fell in love with bowling, and I decided to commit myself to it. I watched the PWBA tour. Carolyn Dorn Ballard totally my idol growing up. And to this day, I constantly remind her of how amazing she is. Because again, you know, we speak about other sports. At that age, I never really thought in my mind I would be her friend, let alone she was my teammate on Team USA. She's now my neighbor. She lives in Texas, or I should say I'm her neighbor. So Carolyn for sure. Between Carolyn, Linda, Kim, Leanne, those ladies, it seemed like there was just a constant rotation. They were always on TV. And I was like, wow, that's awesome. When I was in college here at UCF, the tour ended up folding in 2003. So that was the transition of going from high school to college bowling, and then I'm going to bowl professionally. Well, that kind of got pulled away from me, and that's literally the reason I tried out for Team USA. So 2005, I tried out for Team USA. I was like, look, if I'm going to continue bowling at a high level that's competitive, the only thing available to me other than the PBA tour, which is just not realistic in my mind, was Team USA. So I was on the junior team already. I said, you know what, let me try out for this Team USA thing, because I was on the junior team for a couple of years, and I'm like, well, that would be the next stepping stone, yada, yada. And made the team. Again, circling back to, that's how I met Shannon. She tried out, that was her first year. That was my first year. It was in Dallas, Texas, ironically, right here, right where I live. And that filled the void for me for a very long time, because the tour didn't come back around until 2015.
Right.
So I was very blessed that I tried out for Team USA for all those years, and I've made it every year since. And, you know, we talked earlier about things happening for a reason and all that stuff. Well, had the tour been around still when I was in college, I may not have tried out for Team USA, because it may have just been too much to manage. I don't know.
You may have went straight from college to tour?
It's very possible. You know, I don't know. But having it worked out the way that it did, I was able to do both, and I still do both. It's certainly a lot to manage at times, depending on how busy the year might be and if I'm selected to compete. But again, we know what we're signing up for, we know what we're getting into, and you just kind of make it work. But yeah, those are the people I looked up to, and so I'd probably say in college is when I was like, man, I wish I could bowl professionally. And then it was kind of pulled out from under me. I was like, okay, well, let's reset here.
Let's figure out something else.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, well, we're gonna do that giveaway of that jersey you talked about, a signed Stephanie Johnson jersey. We're gonna give it away here in Game 5.
Woohoo! And it's freshly washed, might I add.
Freshly washed. That's good.
I mean,
but it is a game-worn jersey.
it absolutely is.
All right, Brant says let's go in our he and I's chat outside of the Bowl TV chat, so get ready. It's going to become the crowd reacting to something. Liz Culkin on the front 4. Corner pin, maybe?
It's hard to see. There's some pillars in our way, but I would venture to say a 10 pin. So what are we doing for this giveaway? Do we know yet?
I think it's going to be run as the same format as the other one.
Oh, just submit.
I believe so.
Okay, fair enough.
So wait for the prompt. Unless Brant tells me otherwise, wait for the prompt to pop up on your screen.
Cool. Doesn't get any easier than that. You don't have to answer a trivia question. You're just submitting your entry, and then poof, you're good.
Some unofficial numbers after Game 20 with only 2 games to go. Danielle McEwen back on top, plus 380. Katie Simpson at 370. Shannon O'Keefe at 340. 55 pins down to Jay Rich at 285. And really, here's where we're going to be watching. It's these 4 players. There's 4 players fighting for 2 spots. Yep. Jay Rich is in 4th, 55 behind 3rd. You got Jay Rich at 285. Rocio at 275. Giselle at 265. and Liz Culkin at 258.
And as we saw, she's got the front 4, 9 spare. I mean,
It's then an 87-pin drop down to Maria Jose Rodriguez and Missy Parkin at 171, followed up by Dasha, Josie, and Kelly Hulick. So J. Rich,
it's going to be exciting.
Yep, J. Rich, Rocio, Giselle, and Liz, the players that we're going to be watching these last couple of games.
We would arguably not expect anything less than some super exciting, probably some big games coming out here from a couple of these girls. Another strike by Liz. You know, and that's, we touched on it a little bit. You know, it's literally never over till it's over. And I know that's so cliche, but it's just not. I mean, you could shoot a 270 followed by a 170, and then someone in between shooting 230, and all of a sudden people are just jumping around. But, you know, we talked about, you know, focusing on the things that you can control, just listening to what the lane's telling you to do, make good shots, and, you know, just worry about yourself.
One thing, the reason I said unofficially on those numbers is I wasn't sure on some of the monitors, so there are some changes to what I just read off. The top 3 have not changed. Danielle, Caitlin, and Shannon, 380, 370, 340. Jordan at 305. It's 30 pins down to Rocio at 275, but then you have Rocio at 275 in 5th place, Giselle in 6th at 265, Liz at 258, and then 68 pins down to Maria. So we're still looking at the same group, Rocio, Giselle, and Liz, separated by only 17 pins. 30 pins from Rocio up to Jordan in 4th, and then 68 from Liz down to Maria in 8th.
But again, you never know, Danielle. I mean, Missy right in front of us. I mean, she's got a good game going. You know, a couple big games, put you right in the mix.
Kayla Gorby is the winner of the Stephanie Johnson signed, game-worn, freshly cleaned jersey from this weekend.
Hooray!
Congratulations, Kayla Gorby.
Congratulations.
So we will get
And
that
you're
jersey.
welcome.
Yes, we will get that jersey to Aaron. Aaron will get it to Arlington, and then we will ship it out.
Awesome. You know, I know everyone's a little different, but I certainly don't mind giving things away. It's kind of my way of cleaning out my closets.
I did the same thing
Cycling
recently.
jerseys, you know, just, you know, you get new ones every year, and it's not that the ones from the year before or the year before are bad, but, you know, you just
New style.
phase
Yeah.
them out, you know? That's all you do. Just phase them out.
That's when I had a bunch of mock collar jerseys and then some of the quarter zip jerseys from the last couple of years that I gave away to a bunch of youth players in Louisville, because and I put on Facebook, I want to give these away to youth players. I don't want to give these to adults.
Yeah.
I want to give them to youth players in my area that are coming up through the ranks. The adults, they have money to go buy jerseys.
Right.
Kids might not.
Right. Or the parents, you know? And
Right, or the parents of the kids.
at any point in time, you definitely, you know, my theory anyway has, you know, that we've been involved with this sport for so long that at some point you have to give back to it what it's given to you. I mean, I feel like I'll forever be in debt to bowling, and I know that sounds kind of cheesy.
It's not.
But it's given me so many opportunities and afforded me friendships, and I've seen the world and got to do things and still continue to do things that I really never thought I would. I mean, you know, you asked, or someone in the chat asked me, you know, did I always know I wanted to be a professional bowler? The answer is probably no. You know, you love something and you feel like, man, it'd be awesome to do it at the highest ability. And then when it comes to fruition and it becomes your life, it's like, oh, wow, I've worked really hard for this moment. And then to be able to share that experience with people around you that feel the same way, oh my gosh, it's just incredible. You know, because I have friends that are not bowlers that, you know, I don't want to say have a mundane job, but they have a job. You know, it's just
9 to 5.
day to day, whatever.
Right.
And it's kind of like they don't get to travel and do the things that I do, you know, and I feel like, well, that's the choice I made, you know, and it's just pretty cool. super, super blessed. I mean, there's absolutely no way I could do what I do without my army of people.
Oh, Missy.
Oh, such a terrible break right there. Well, Liz Colkin down there on 39-40, can punch for 247.
Through 9 frames.
She had a split in there that we didn't quite see what that was. Shannon, of course, over here. They're proving my theory wrong about 31-2. They're both bowling well, both her and Kelly.
Well, I mean, if anyone's going to prove you wrong, Shannon and Kelly are,
Yeah.
are two that are. It's okay to be proved wrong by them.
And, you know, maybe the lane just came to them. You know, just needed a few games to blend itself out. You just don't know. You know, we have the beauty of bowling on an invisible golf course that has bunkers and lakes and all of that stuff everywhere.
Hills and valleys and everything.
Right.
And really, it wasn't until just the last probably 5 years that the hills and valleys talking about lane topography has really come into play. But until then, until the science was available to map that and show it to the masses, that was just something we could only assume or infer. We didn't know for a fact how drastic that can be and how much it can affect how the lane plays.
Right. And again, going back to what I mentioned earlier with my discussion with Danielle about, you know, some Brooklyn shots and all that stuff, you know, you really have to assess the situation. Did I throw it that bad, or did the lane just all of a sudden transition and it just did something I was not expecting? So you get so much information from a bad shot as you do a good shot. You just have to sift through it and process and try to make sense of it.
Well, Giselle down there crossing with Liz. She's got the first one in the 10th. Giselle doubles the 10th. She'll be a max score of 212. Liz got the first one, so she's in the 230s right now. Up in her approach ball off her hand in the 11th. Posted the shot. Flushed it 10 back. Liz will be in the 240s. So Liz in 7th.
Don't call it a comeback, right?
Don't call it a comeback. 17 pins out of the cut, out of the top 5 for the live stepladder finals on CBS Sports Network tonight, or this afternoon at 4 p.m. She's just outside working her way in. Giselle in 6th. This is the second time in the last 3 weeks we've seen Giselle in a battle in that 6th, 7th position. We saw her in East Hartford fall just short of making the TV show. Rocio here putting a good game together. Rocio is the cut in 5th. Trying to get off that cut line. Not a good place to be.
She is definitely extending her chances.
Yes.
And then we have Jordan Richard next to her, having a decent game. You know, she's on 202 teen pace.
And both Jordan and Katie crossing together, each with an open this game, no doubles. Jordan in 4th, Katie in 2nd.
Again, you know, anyone's game at this point. I mean, I know there's some pins separating, but, you know, we got Rocio over here on pace for 290. I mean, we're talking 90 pins. You know, I mean, that can just jump her right up to 1st.
Kelly Kulik, 221. Shannon with a chance at 237. Kelly down in 12th, so right now just trying to finish up good. And finish out and walk out of here with your head held high. Despite struggling on Saturday morning, made top 12.
You know, it's one thing at a time. You know, you make the exempt field, so you're obviously guaranteed to be bowling. For those of them that made it through the PTQ, such as Caitlin, it's icing on the cake to make it to today. I mean, that's obviously the goal. I mean, you can't make the TV show without making Saturday. So, fist pump action from Rocio, not abnormal. She's typically very animated.
Very fierce emotions on her face.
Really, she really is. Tough competitor. She was out a lot of the first part of the tour for taking care of some health issues that she had been going through, but obviously coming out strong, and she as well made it through the PTQ. So for those of you joining in that maybe don't know what that means, these last 3 weeks have been what we've considered the exempt tour, meaning the top 24 in points from the first part of the year automatically qualify. And there's a couple that haven't did not come out. So more spots came out through the pre-tournament qualifier. So for those that weren't in the top 24, they can come out and bowl in that event Thursday morning to basically bowl their way into the tournament. So both Rocio and Caitlin Simpson essentially have done that. So they've bowled the most games out of everybody.
Caitlin and Rocio finished 6th and 7th. We're flipped that. Rocio and Caitlin finished 6th and 7th in the PTQ on Thursday.
Yeah. Going into our last game here, a couple pairs are a little behind, just some technical scoring glitches and some pin resets, but other than that, going to be a little tight race here going into that last game. Looks like Caitlin will drop a little bit here.
Well, Danielle, Caitlin, and Shannon were 70-plus pins ahead of 4th, so they had some room to wiggle. You know,
Rocio's going to make a big jump here.
279 is going to be my guess.
Huge game.
So all this talk about bowling, as we start to wrap this game up, what are some things you enjoy doing outside of the bowling world?
So I'm really big into like scrapbooking. I do lots of that for my kids. So every year they each have a book so far. So Levi's got 5 books. Kenzie has 2. The last page of every book is their birthday pictures to kind of like close out that year.
Okay.
So I'm really big into that. I do enjoy baking and cooking. I don't do it very often, being on the road a lot, but my mom cooked a lot when we were younger, so I do enjoy home-cooked meals as much as possible because when we are on the road, we don't get that. Lots of Subway, stuff like that, late-night drive-thrus, fast food.
Yep.
So it's not exactly the high life by any stretch, but gosh, and of course, I love spending time with my kids. It's I was chatting with somebody yesterday. It's just, your life transitions, your priorities change and shift because it all of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, doesn't become about you anymore. It's literally about your children and your family and things like that. So I did join the PTA. So more than likely, Daniel, I will be like a room mom because I'm pretty good at that.
Well, and that goes back to the baking and stuff. Make whether it's cakes or cookies or brownies or food for class trips and stuff or class parties.
For sure. So I definitely plan on being involved in that capacity. I really think that would be so much fun. My mom was a lot involved in some of my schooling growing up, and I just remember that. So I think that'd just be cool for my kids to, have their mom be involved. Of course, until I'm not cool.
Until you're not cool.
You know what I mean? There's going to come a breaking point where it's like, Mom, go away. So until that happens,
well, and we were
they're stuck with me.
We were talking with Jason Thomas about that, who's got 2 kids. One they just sent off to college, and one I think his other kid is 10 or 11, around that range. I'll have to maybe confirm that with him if I see him. But we talked about there's a bell curve to how cool parents are, and he says I'm at the top of that. I'm at the apex of the bell curve, at the coolest I can be. And it might last a month, it might last 6 months, but I know that pretty soon I'm going to be
enjoy it while you can.
I'm going to be on that downward trend.
It's hard being on the top, Daniel, because there's only one place to go.
Yes.
And that's down. Now, it depends how quickly or not, but for now, I'm going to enjoy it, of course. So, yeah. I'm a busybody. So, if there's stuff I can do around the house, like little projects, anything like that, I like to just stay busy. It's It's my biggest strength and my biggest weakness because there are days, don't get me wrong, that I wish I would just like chill.
Just stop for a minute?
Yeah. But then you're like, man, it's hard to do that because, you got kids running around or
Or it's just your natural
or my
personality.
brain is just like, man, I should be doing something. Like, there's probably something I could do outside. I could fix some light bulbs or paint something. I mean, trust me, Chris would tell you, like, I have a list of things that I would like to do, but it just involves time. And you got kids running around. It's like, okay, certain things just kind of shift down.
Well, and see, and my mother is the same way. My mother will be 63 this year, as will my father, and she's worked ever since she was 16, 17 years old. And she worked for Office Max for a long time, and they dissolved the office in Louisville because there was one in Nashville, Louisville, and Indy. So they got rid of Louisville. And she'd been with them for 20, 25 years. And she said, you know what, I'm going to take some time. We're financially, we're fine. I'm just going to take a year and enjoy things around the house, do some gardening, da-da-da. She lasted, I think, 3 months. And I was like, I got to get back to work.
I got to do something else.
I can't stand just sitting around the house.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, we've got some scores after Game 5. Danielle McEwen plus 382 is your leader. Shannon O'Keefe up to second at 377. Rocio skyrockets up the standings into third at plus 354. Katie Simpson in fourth at 339. And then here comes the drop. 35 pins down to Liz Culkin in fifth place. Jay Rich only 4 pins out of the cut at plus 300. Giselle in seventh. 27 pins out of the cut at plus 277. And then a bigger drop, 72 pins down to Missy Parkin.
We got them all right in front of us here.
In eighth, MJR, Josie, Kelly, and Dasha round out the field. But the three we're watching, Liz, Jay Rich, and Giselle. Liz right here on 33. Jay Rich and Giselle. Jay Rich over to our left on 32, and Giselle in front of us on 34.
It's going to be an interesting last game, I would imagine some antics from Liz. I know she's typically pretty animated. Jordan as well. 27 pins is really not a lot.
No.
At all, so... Oh, wow. Ooh.
Out the window?
Out the window. Didn't like that one off her hand, and kind of lucky it didn't go in the gutter, to be honest with you. But we'll have an interesting match over here between Danielle and Shannon as well for essentially the number 1 seed. And Rocio, again, not far behind, starting with a double. So... again... it's never over till it's over.
Are you a scoreboard watcher when you're bowling?
No.
No?
In fact, yesterday, going into the last game, I was only about 17 pins out. And I told Sean's one of our ball reps out here, I said, I'm not going to try any harder. I mean, I'm already trying my best, Would I make a bolder move? Possibly. We took a ball out that I hadn't thrown, and it looked okay. But it was just clearly my ball roll just did not match up, no matter what ball I was throwing. So, at the end of the day, I will literally see what the last place is, and if I'm in or if I'm not, and then go from there. But I could not have told you who was in and who was out. And everybody's different,
Yeah, I know.
Some people thrive off of it.
That's me.
They want to know, like, oh, I'm only 10 out, or I'm ahead by 30, or whatever it is.
Myself being a numbers guy, I'm someone that wants to know.
Yeah.
I don't actively seek out and push myself to the point where I'm going to stress over it, but I just go, okay, where am I at?
Right.
What's it look like?
And I think it's situational. So I don't know. It can change for sure. I mean, there's definitely days where I felt like I found myself looking And then there's days where I'm not at all. I'm just kind of in my own little world. So,
you know, for instance, if it's late on Friday night and the cut's top 12 and you're 1, 2, 3 and you're 100-plus pins up on the cut, I'm not going to watch numbers because I know that I'm not in danger of missing a cut.
Right.
I'm just trying to get as many pins as possible for Saturday.
exactly.
But if you're near that cut, maybe you just take a glance at it and go, okay, what's going on?
Yeah.
All right, the official numbers have been updated online, and luckily this game they match what I have. So everything we gave to you a few minutes ago is correct.
Right. And for the most part, scores are pretty high today. Overall, I would say. There's been some high scores. Got some scoring issues here on 35 and 6. Sometimes the lanes just reset and then they give them a strike, which
You can't just give it to them, though.
I'm sure they'd like that, but you know, there's no gimmies. There's no gimmies.
Yeah, the field average today, 208.5, but the average for the players in the top 5 just for today's bowling is just under 220. 219.36.
Exactly. So let's see what we're working with here.
Liz Culkin's strike, spare, strike is in 5th at plus 304. Jay Ridge off to our left has an early double. And Giselle in front of us, strike, open, spare, strike.
It looks like Caitlin's struggling a little bit there. Shannon's got spare, split, double. Danielle next to her. Strike, spare, strike. Here we go. She like that one.
I'll tell you, from East Hartford to Louisville to Orlando, Liz has a following. Now, I understand up in Connecticut, she's from Schenectady, New York, was only about 2 hours away from there, had a big crowd there. But even in Louisville and here in Orlando, more than a couple hand claps for Liz from the crowd. She's garnered a following over the last couple of years.
Yeah, and I would venture to say the U.S. Open certainly helped that, you know. Not what Giselle was looking for there.
Now Giselle 27 pins behind Liz. Giselle in 7th. And I think within the first 5 frames here, just based on the starts that Liz and Jay Rich, who are 5th and 6th, have had, Giselle is bowling herself out of contention of the top 5 just 5 frames in.
Yeah, not liking her chances unless there's just something crazy that's going to happen from someone else.
Danielle alternating strikes and spares through 5 frames. Shannon spare split double up in the 5th over on 38. That's your 1-2. 3rd place Rocio. Double spare up in the 5th over on 29. Katie Simpson just off to our left. Spare split, and she's shooting a 2-pin right here in the 3rd. So 3rd and 4th, Rocio and Katie not early, but not doing anything to hurt their standings inside the top 5. It's coming down to Liz and Jay Rich right now. Liz with the upper hand through 5 frames.
Shannon's over here. She has a triple. Looks like Danielle's struggling on the right lane. Like you said, she's got the spare strike. Making her way to get to that number 1 seed. She's got a 4-bagger after that split she left in the 2nd frame. Ooh, Jordan.
Oh, Jay Rich rolls the 2-pin forward.
2-pin.
And Danielle still alternating spares and strikes.
She is. Rocio's off to our left. Double, spare, spare, spare. Obviously, depending on the rest of her game, she could possibly jump a few spots. You never know.
Rocio 23, 23 behind Shannon, and 38 behind Danielle.
Just see how the rest of both of their games kind of shake out.
So you've got the women's before the players out in Vegas? Okay.
Yep, we leave Thursday.
That's right. You said you leave in a couple days. That's right.
Yep, we leave Thursday morning for unofficial practice and practice the next day. So lots of bowling, but it'll, get us prepared for the players right after that in Raleigh, North Carolina. Liz is certainly making her run. You could see she wants it.
Well, she backed herself into a corner that first game, missing 2 single pins, chopping 2 multi-pin spares to shoot 154. But since then has been lights out, has been plus 167 the last 4 games. To jump from essentially falling into last, into 12th place after game 1, and up into 5th place coming into this game.
Yep.
Maximum score up there, 248. J. Rich off to our left, 3 frames behind, but her max score early through 4 is 278. Only 4 pins behind Liz. So depending on how you look at it, Jordan Richard in the fortunate or unfortunate position of knowing exactly what she needs to shoot as she continues her game, because Liz is going to finish up first.
And some people, again, we spoke about that, thriving off of knowing what you need or just bowling, At the end of the day, all you can do is make great shots. And, Liz obviously made a great shot. She left a 9-pin. It happens. But you just have to keep moving forward,
One thing I used to do as a youth player to practice, like you said, knowing what you need to shoot, I would write scores down on pieces of paper and fold them up, put them in a hat, and then I would draw them out before I went to practice a game. Go, okay, I got to beat this score.
Okay.
I don't know if it helped or not, but that was one way that
it gave you a different type of purpose.
Yeah.
For sure.
Good shot by Shin. I don't know the reaction. Okay.
I'm guessing on the 10th pin.
It
it's
was,
hard to tell.
We've got posts, right in our way.
For those of you that don't know, Boardwalk Bowl used to be a Walmart.
Did it really?
This was a Walmart. So when I first came to UCF, our bowling center was literally on the corner, which is now a church. But it's literally, you could walk to it.
Oh, from here?
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow.
Yep, it's right there on the corner. And when that's essentially closed, we moved here. They sold Walmart, and Boardwalk Bowl bought it. And we are an 80-lane center. 48 lanes on one side, 32 on the other. Massive concourse. I mean, you can imagine.
Oh, yeah, I love it.
When you walk through Walmart, you have all the posts and stuff. That's why all these posts are here to support, It's such a big venue.
So how old is this bowling center?
The bowling center?
Yeah, how long has Boardwalk, the center, been here?
Without knowing exactly, I'm going to say 2003?
Okay. Liz.
Not what you want to do. Especially at this moment in time.
Yeah.
Knowing how close you are. And, of course, the person behind you is literally right next to you.
Danielle McEwen, best she can do after a 9 count in the 10th is 208. Shannon can get to
She
234.
stays clean here. Yep. She'll be the #1 seed.
Yeah, Shannon on pace to be in the 2 teens. If she doesn't lose count, she would pass Danielle by 1. Shannon could mark out for 214. Danielle at 208. Shannon only 5 pins behind. You do the math. Beat her by 6. You're down by 5. You lead by 1.
Very close match here.
Meanwhile,
Rocio's,
Rocio, yeah.
a sparing machine over there, which is
Uh-oh.
good.
Until the 410 she just left.
Goodness gracious.
We talked about Shannon losing count, a 7 count right there in the 8th on a spare, down to 221.
Right. 245, not the easiest. I chopped some of those, unfortunately.
Derek Culkin here in the chat with us, living and dying with every shot as we are.
Absolutely.
It looks a little left.
Ooh.
It sounded like a...
Lucky with just a 6
Okay.
pin.
Whoa. So it sounded like a 4,
Easily
6,
a
7.
big 4.
Yeah.
But, all right.
It's like 206 for Danielle McEwen. Shannon covers that bucket.
Yep.
So she shoots
For Shannon.
strike spare 11. If Shannon goes strike spare, she will tie Danielle for the number 1 seed.
Right. That's what Mr. Nathan Bohr just told me over here. I'm not paying too much attention to all the numbers, but yes, absolutely correct.
Being the PWBA,
So she definitely at least needs the first one to have a chance at the number 1 seed.
being the newbie I am, what's the tie-breaking procedure there? Would it be a game?
That I do not know. I would have to look that up.
I just saw
And
Tennille down
Tennille
here.
is
She was just standing in front of us.
Somewhere wandering.
Okay.
But,
Oh, she's standing next to Aaron.
okay. If I had to guess, Daniel,
Mhm.
it's going to be a game. But I don't make the rules.
I've been begging for a tie for the last 2 weeks on the transfer spot, and give me a tie for the number 1 seed, and let's put it right here on our pairs in front of us.
I mean,
Give us some bonus
give
bowling.
the viewers what they want,
Yes.
right? That's for sure.
Here
And
comes
it is
Aaron.
exciting. And I don't know what's happening over there.
How
but,
about Aaron Smith?
Should go strike spare. It's a 1 game roll-off.
1 game
One
roll-off.
game.
There
See?
we go. My man, AA Ron.
See, I was correct.
You were correct.
My gut told me it was a game. I mean, we bowl all these games, it should be a game. But it looked like they were having some scoring issues over there, resetting the pins, and on Shannon's pair, that is 37-38, which is off in the distance from where we're sitting.
Looks like no matter the ending, Danielle and Shannon going to be the 1-2. Rocio solidly in as the 3. Katie doing nothing to hurt herself inside the top 5. Looks like she's going to probably stay as the 3 seed, or excuse me, as the 4 seed.
And still to be determined here for number 5.
And that's what we're watching. We're watching. Here goes Shannon in the
Still to be
10th.
determined.
Scouts the 10. Got the first one.
A little fist pump action there. I'm assuming she knows what's what the possibilities are.
Yeah, with Danielle being right next to her. Liz over here waiting on 33, taking a long, good look at Jordan Richards' scoreboard, waiting for her to throw her shot.
And Liz did reset her lane, buy herself some time, I would imagine.
Jordan Richards shot on 31. High flush.
Oh.
4-6.
Okay, well, it just got interesting again.
It did. All right, here goes Shannon. This strike for the number 1 seed on TV, lane 37.
Oh, wrap 10.
Wrap 10.
Well,
Make it, make it, make it, make it, make it.
I have no doubt she's going to make it, Danielle. However, as we saw with Liz, she missed her 7-pin.
Things
It
happen.
happens.
Even one of the GOATs, Walter Ray, was not 100% on single pin conversions.
Right. And, Danielle over there is probably sitting, she got 8 on the fill. She gets 9 or strike. It's not even a factor. Oh, she
no.
missed it. Oh, no, she missed it. Ugh, 1 pin.
Wow.
1 pin. Ugh. Well, you're not going to get what you wanted, Daniel. You're not going to get a tie.
I didn't want it like that.
Ugh, that's heart-wrenching. Golly. Wow. And I'm assuming she knew it. I mean,
Oh,
her,
yeah.
her reaction was just that. And I will say it looked like she might have popped out of her shot. It's hard to tell from this angle.
Mm-hmm.
She definitely got quick.
All right, well, Liz can shoot 195. If Jordan marks out and doesn't lose count, she's at 195. Liz with a 4-pin lead coming into this game, so Jordan's going to need a double somewhere.
Correct.
Either the 9th, 10th, or the 10th and 11th. Rocio, 190. She finishes at plus 344. Katie Simpson can't pass Rocio, but will not fall behind Liz or Jay Rich. So Katie will be our 4 seed, no matter how she finishes up in these last 2 frames, barring open.
Right.
I'm assuming clean,
Well,
fill frames. Jay Rich.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me? Are you? Wow.
She's still alive for to make TV, but she needs a double on the 10th and 11th now.
Goodness gracious. If that's not.
Big count here for Liz. Good shot. All right, well, Liz Culkin finishes
My
up
heart is racing, Daniel.
at plus 299. Jay Rich is at 300 over right now.
Oof. With a nasty 8-pin. Wow. Throw it better, right? Throw it better.
Katie Simpson is going to need to stay clean. But if she goes open and shoots in the 150s, she could be in trouble of missing it.
Oh, she
Jordan
almost
made
missed
it?
that one.
Yeah, a little close on that. Oh, sorry. I'm going to move the camera a little bit for us.
All right, all right. I mean, it's literally going to come down to this 10th frame from Jordan. She absolutely needs a double, mathematically, to pass Liz. And as we saw, she'll be thinking about that 8-pin for a little while because she would be going into the 10th with a strike. But as we've mentioned before, that's kind of how it goes. We've seen a lot of them already. Just today, 8 pins.
Katie needs to lock herself in. 9 on this first shot will guarantee her on the show. Anything less, and she'll need to make whatever she leaves. She's in. She misses that, she would go to wrong number. She would fall to 307. The best that Jay Rich can get to is 305, and Liz already in the clubhouse at 299. Jay Rich needs the double.
Can't get a double without this first one, so.
Good. Good shot.
Spare for her. I'd say easy spare, but as we've seen in these past couple of games, I mean,
Nothing's
you see
easy.
a couple 9-outs on the screen, it happens. It certainly happens.
Danielle's the 1, Shannon is the 2, Rocio is our 3, Katie Simpson our 4. This shot from Jay Rich right here will determine the 5 seed for the live CBS Sports Network stepladder finals today at 4 o'clock. Jordan Richard needs this strike. Oh, the wiggle on the 7. Can't get it to fall.
Gracious. Oh. Wow.
So Jay Rich and Liz, assuming the spare, are going to tie the final game. And Liz, up 4 coming in, will maintain that 4-pin lead, and Liz Culkin will be the number 5 seed for the finals tonight. Katie Simpson, 179.
She missed it, but of course, I hate to say she didn't care, but she knows at that point it didn't matter.
I have no problem saying at that point she didn't care. I get that.
Yeah.
I totally get that.
Yep. I mean,
well, Stephanie, that was exciting.
it was exciting. I mean, I was nervous watching. It's so, you understand how it goes. You've been in those positions where you've been on Jordan's side, you've been on Shannon's side, Danielle, Liz, all of them, and
just throw it to Tennille real quick.
Okay. All right, y'all. Stephanie is signing off here because now I got to get ready for doing some interviews.
Go do your thing, girl. Thanks for joining me today.
See you guys tonight.
All right. That will wrap up qualifying here at the 2019 BowlerX.com PWBA Orlando Open. Be sure, everyone, to tune in to CBS Sports Network tonight at 4 o'clock for the live stepladder finals for these 5 competitors that you see in front of you right here. 22 great games of bowling culminating in these top 5. Drama in the high seas all throughout the 6 games today. Leaders changing, cuts changing. That's probably one of the best round of 12s. That's the best round of 12 I've had in the last 3 tournaments I've worked, and I cannot wait for the televised finals tonight. Now it is time for us to break down all the equipment. But this is not it for us on Bowl TV this weekend. Don't forget the Orlando Regional tomorrow at Aloma Bowl. And I'm about to transfer all of our stuff over there and get set up for that, and then be back for the 4 p.m. live televised stepladder finals on CBS Sports Network today. Again, 4 p.m. For Aaron Smith, Brant Houghton, Jason Thomas, Curtis Von Kruger, everyone at Bowl TV, USBC, PWBA, and the staff and management here at Boardwalk Bowl, I am Daniel Farish. Thank you all so much for tuning in. This has been a Bowl TV production. Bowling lives here. We will see you at 4 p.m. on CBS Sports Network. Have a great afternoon, everyone. I can't wait.